Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's July 22nd, 2024, and today I wanted to show you what I got when I was in Prince Edward Island last week. There's been a few things that have happened between when I arrived back from Prince Edward Island to today. So if you missed it, what did we do in between those times? Well, I put out my Friday video showing you exactly what I got in the mail that week. My sister, niece, and I went to the zoo, so there was a video for that. Saturday, we had a live stream, and you would have seen the zoo video on the Saturday, actually, because by the time it went out, most of you probably wouldn't have seen it till Saturday if you watched it. And then on Sunday, I did a post-crossing decorating video, and then we did a 2-hour riverboat cruise in St. John, New Brunswick. I put a video out for that. So I've done a lot of videos, but what video I didn't do was what I got when I was in Prince Edward Island as far as postcards. I had 3 days in Prince Edward Island. The first day was my travel over day, and I got to spend it with Kyler. I'm going to show you what I got when we were out touring around, and he was showing me the history. I did a video about that. And then Wednesday I worked, and then after work I met up with Helen, and we did some touring around Charlottetown, and then we went out to St. Peter's Bay, and she showed me around her area, and we got a couple things, so I want to show you that, and that was another video. And then on the Thursday, as I was going back to Moncton, I stopped and saw Kyler again. He showed me his stamp collection, so we did a little video on that, and he gave me a gift at the end of that as well. So we're going to cover all that stuff today. And you can say, see, I've been busy and I continue to put out videos and still have more stuff to talk about and show you coming up this week as well. So make sure you like, you subscribe, you leave positive comments, you share with other people, and you put the notification bell on so you don't miss out on anything. All right, let's go to day one, Tuesday of last week. We'll go back in time. I was traveling around the countryside with Kyler, and we stopped at a couple different places while we were out. I moved one bag. We got some postcards. So I got this one here. For those of you who know about New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, we are linked currently by the Confederation Bridge. But that only came into being in 1997. Before that, it was the ferry system that was there. So there's still currently a ferry if you want to go from Prince Edward Island to Nova Scotia, which is another province. You can take the ferry. But if you want to go between New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, you have to take the Confederation Bridge now, which is a massive, massive bridge. It was, at one point in time, the longest bridge over water that freezes. I don't believe it is anymore. I think there's another one now that's been built that surpassed it. I got this one here. Prince Edward Island is famous for potatoes, and people like shaped cards. So I got this one. I only have eyes for you, of course. Potatoes have eyes. I got this card here, St. Mary's Church in Indian River. When Kyler and I were touring around, we went inside this church. You'll see it. So they were giving out some free postcards in there. So we got that. Prince Edward Island is also known for Anne of Green Gables, the Lucy Maud Montgomery story. So we got this shaped card of Anne's house. We have a few Anne of Green Gables cards. Here we have another depiction of it, more of a cartoonesque one. I know lots of people love Anne, so I wanted to have lots of new Anne of Green Gables cards for those that do. We have a Kindred Spirit one. This one here from the Anne of Green Gables Museum, which there are several on Prince Edward Island. The Anne of Green Gables Museum. So not only in Cavendish you'll find the Anne of Green Gables Museum, but many other locations, including the house where Lucy Montgomery got married, and her birth house is a spot, and there's a few other ones out there too, different books. Did you know that Lucy Montgomery has a crazy quilt? Well, there's a postcard of it. There's another one of the church that we went to. Inside of it, beautiful wooden ceiling. I mean, it was just gorgeous. And thankfully, all of these cards were free. Not the Anne of Green Gables ones, just the ones of the church. All right, so that was one stop, or one pack of stops that we got. The next place we went along our route was Anne of Green Gables in Cavendish. So I've got some cards from Anne of Green Gables there, different books. Another one of Kindred Spirits. Hadn't remembered that I bought that postcard, so I've got two. And then the different stories. It's a nice one of the House and Anne. So you can see when it comes to Prince Edward Island, it's either Anne or potatoes. Those are the two big things. They also have a number of lighthouses, so I wanted to get that too. I can't remember the exact detail that Kyler told me about. I think it's about 76, though. He said of lighthouses are on the island. And for the amount of distance that the island actually is, that's a lot of lighthouses. Nice map card, because lots of people enjoy map cards with the provincial flag. And some people like a few boats, so there's New London. And then I got this pack of cards that are all the stories. I was individually picking them off the rack. Now the cards there were about $1 each. Some were about $1.25. So Kyler found this pack of cards and said, this is probably your better deal. Buy them this way. So that's what I did. So all the different stories. Lucy Montgomery. I think there's going to be a lot of people that really enjoy reading and are going to enjoy wanting to have these storybook covers. And if you've read any of these, you should leave it in the comments. Let me know which ones you've already read. I can tell you I've not read a single one of these. I'm not even sure if I've read cover to cover an Anne of Green Gables story. I've certainly seen movies, I've seen the television shows, the cartoons that have been around, but to actually sit down and read the book, I don't think I have. I know, shame on me. I also didn't know that Lucy Montgomery was this prolific a writer. I know she's famous for Anne, but she wrote a lot of books. So in that pack, there were all of those. And to give you an idea, that pack was $17.99 Canadian for all those cards. I did fairly well at getting postcards relatively cheaply. Either free ones or ones that were given to me. The other thing I want to show you, on that first day, I was about to leave and Kyler came out and he said he just moved. They sold their house and they moved into an apartment and he was downsizing a bunch of different things along the way. And one of the things he found was this pressed coal thing from North Wales, and it is a little hedgehog. So he saw it and he thought of me to send it, so I really appreciate that he has that. So we're adding that to the hedgehogs that seem to be accumulating in my office. All right, day 2 now. I was with Helen, and one of the places we ended up going was Value Village. I haven't opened this, Helen, yet. If you're watching this, I don't even know what we got here. So for $3.99, I found this pack of cards, and Helen found one too, so we each got one. We wanted to scout around and see if we could find places that had postcards. And a lot of the places in downtown on the waterfront, they had them, but they were more expensive. I didn't want to spend $3 for a postcard or $6 for a single sticker, so I didn't. I had enough postcards. I thought, oh, I won't do that. All right, I can see right off the bat there's a bunch of duplicates here. Okay, this is vintage. This talks about the last spike, the obelisk along the CP railway track where the last spike was driven, November 7th, 1885, the 28 miles west of Revelstoke, British Columbia. So this is, of course, talking about the construction of the railway system that goes coast to coast. So there are 3 of those vintage postcards in there. And then there are 2 of these vintage postcards from Kamloops, British Columbia. This is Kamloops Lake looking east towards Kamloops, British Columbia. The scene is on the back of the $100 bill, or was on the back of the $100 bill. So there's those vintage cards. And then I have 3 of this. This is Balancing Rock in Kamloops. So I'm seeing a connection here. There's a whole bunch of Kamloops postcards. And then I have 4 of these vintage ones. These are a ranch scene. Scenes like this are frequently along the Kamloops Merritt Highway and also in the Caribou area. Ranches, some of which number up to 20,000 head, make this cattle country of British Columbia. So when you're thinking about the Wild West, whether you're thinking about the United States or Canada, we both had our Wild West for sure. And then I have 7 of this one. This is the Bridge to West Canal in British Columbia, famous for caribou country. So we've got a bunch of those cards. Then we have this Las Vegas 2009 Collector Series calendar. So I thought it was postcards. I guess it's a calendar. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with a calendar from 2009, but there are hotels in here. And there's a shot of the Las Vegas Strip back then. One I should look for. Let's see what hotels are in here. The Wynn, Harrods, Mandalay Bay. One of them, the Venetian, one of them is closing down or has just closed down. It has the volcano that erupts. There's Caesar's Palace, the Flamingo, Bali's. I don't see it in here, so it didn't make it. Anyways, there's a calendar from 2009. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Maybe somebody's going to want pictures from it. All right. This says Olympic Winter Games. Sponsor of the Olympic Winter Games. Okay, this is the Nova Scotia tattoo from 1986. So they're talking about being a sponsor for the Calgary 1988 Winter Olympics. So there are 4 postcards from the Halifax tattoo, which is a giant Highland or military expose that happens every year in Halifax. When I was in Halifax a few weeks ago, I was touring around with my friend John, and we came across some bagpipers and things that were getting ready for the tattoo. It was taking place at that point in time. So there we go. Some things of the tattoo. We have a lighthouse one here. This is from the Outer Banks in North Carolina. I don't know how many of you watch the television show Outer Banks, but yeah, this is Outer Banks. And here's another one from the Outer Banks in North Carolina, looking at the lighthouse. So for those of you who like lighthouses, there's that. We have this one, also a ferry from North Carolina, the Hatteras Inlet Ferry. We have this one here of the Fisheries Museum of the Atlantic in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. For those of you who like churches, we have this nice Memorial United Church in Bonavista, Newfoundland, which was built in 1918 and dedicated to the young men of the parish who paid the supreme sacrifice during the Great War, which is World War I. This one here is a little bit bent, but this is a Nova Scotia postcard. Scenic view of Grand Prairie Park, Nova Scotia. Here we have the Eaton Centre in Toronto. Eaton's is a giant Canadian department store. Not a lot of them left anymore. Here's another one from Toronto. Ontario Place is what's showing there. Another one from Toronto. This is the old City Hall at night. Here we have Peggy's Cove, Nova Scotia. And this is a part of the Citadel in downtown Halifax. This is the historic town clock. We have this one here is a courthouse of 1770 in Williamsburg, Virginia. You can see wherever they've got these cards, they got them from all over the world, or at least all over North America so far. This is Colonial National Historic Park in Jamestown, Virginia. We have this one here of Carter's Grove Christmas Tree in Williamsburg, Virginia. Pink House Square in South Carolina at Christmas time. A nice buggy one. This is Williamsburg, Virginia. And the final one of this group was from the Colonial National Historic Park in Jamestown. This is Jamestown Church in Virginia. So all of those cards for $3.99. I think that's a pretty good deal. I think we did all right with that. Then after we finished in Charlottetown, we went up to St. Peter's Bay. Now, Helen has a beautifully big collection of postcards, and she had a whole bunch of duplicates. So when she went to show me the postcards that she had, she said, oh, take some of these and some of these and some of these. So I'm going to show you the postcards that she just gave me while we were there. Prince Edward Island, there's a map, things to do. There's a couple of those. She has these Prince Edward Island ones of the Confederation Bridge. She gave me 4 of those ones. She gave me a bunch of these ones here of the, oh, there we go. This one here is Sea Cow Head Lighthouse in Prince Edward Island. So we got a bunch of those. And then we have Indian Head Lighthouse in Summerside. Got to see that from a distance when I was in Summerside. These ones are actually pretty special. She gave me quite a few of them. They don't make them anymore. Cow's Ice Cream used to have their own postcards, and Cow's does specialty comic prints on t-shirts, whether it's Star Wars or Star Trek or Harry Potter, and however they do it, they integrate their cow into the story of all of those things. So she gave me a bunch of Cow's postcards. So I was glad to get those. I've looked for Cow's postcards for a number of years now. I guess they stopped making them about 3 years ago. So if you happen to find them out there, you're very fortunate. She gave me some Did You Know facts about lobster. I like these Did You Knows. I love sending those out. This one here, Prince Edward Island, and the red dirt that they have that goes all over the island. These are country roads. You would have seen us driving on those, Kyler and I. And then she gave me a bunch of these ones with the blue heron. They're everywhere in Prince Edward Island. These ones she gave me, she says she doesn't like sending them. She doesn't like the message that they kind of portray. You can read these 2 different ways. So I told you that Prince Edward Island is known for their potatoes. Well, this one says where the locals all look the same. So of course we're talking about all the potatoes look the same, not all the locals looking the same as some sort of inbreeding on the island. But that's why she doesn't like it. I get the reference, but if you like potatoes or you like that, maybe it's a good card to send. Then she sent me this one of oyster fishing in Prince Edward Island. Quite a few of those. And this is her community. This is St. Peter's Bay. We saw this exact spot. We drove in front of the church over here. We walked over on this side. Beautiful community. And then there was a church we went to in downtown Charlottetown as well. Yeah, so we got a couple of postcards of those. All free, which was wonderfully generous of her. So let's just put all these together and show you exactly what we've gone through. I have this many new postcards to send out to people, and I waited till now because I've got a bunch of people from last week I still haven't written to, so I'm going to be sending some of those out. Now, I'm not done yet. On the final day, the Thursday, when I went back to film Kyler's stamp collection, he gave me a few postcards. He also gave me a couple things for a future video. I won't show you those right away, but he sent me this one here. Beautiful fish, nice spots, St. Lucia. Here's a nice Florida one with dolphins and flamingos and all sorts of things. Looks like manatees down there too. This one here of the Victoria Falls. So that's a little ways away, but those people that like waterfalls, that's a nice one. There's a cute one with the koala on the rainbow. That's a Dream Surfer is what it's called. And then Sunshine Skyway Bridge. So this one's also in Florida. So there's a couple more postcards to add to the collection. And then, if that wasn't enough, he gave me 2 of these Bobby Hall playing cards. So they're like the old hockey cards. but they're when the issue of these stamps came out. So it's actually a stamp souvenir. I don't have one of these, but now there's two. So one of these I will keep, and the other is going to go in a giveaway for the future. So thank you, Kyler, for thinking about you guys by giving me something to give to you, and to both Helen and Kyler for taking me on an adventure while I was in Prince Edward Island and showing me around their different areas, and then all the postcards I now have to send off to promote Prince Edward Island, which is fantastic, to promote Lucy Montgomery and Anna Green Gables and potatoes and lighthouses. Lots of themes that people like. All right, that's it. That's it for my last trip. You guys are all caught up on that. You got to stay tuned, though. I have other things that are coming out this week, including what Joe from the United States had sent me up as world stamps. I haven't yet looked at the stamps yet, Joe, so we're going to look at those kind of together probably tomorrow. So if you're into stamps, tomorrow's probably going to be a stamp video. All right, you guys, have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Bye.